So I think we're just getting started on this. The prosecutor, the defense will be very, very tough on her.
Stevie Cameron, thank you.
Thank you.
And now over to Seamus with the latest details on the shocking death of a Canadian wrestler.
It was a disturbing scene that greeted authorities in Atlanta yesterday. 40-year-old Canadian wrestling star Chris Benoit was found dead in his suburban home, along with his wife and 7-year-old son. Police believe it may have been a murder-suicide. And joining us now from Fayetteville, Georgia, with the latest is ABC's Mike Von Freem. Mike, first of all, give us a timeline here. I mean, because what we're hearing is that they may have died before he committed suicide. Can you fill us in?
The police have not been able to give us that kind of a timeline. The sort of timeline that we have is that he was supposed to participate in a pay-per-view wrestling event. Now, this is a sport that really likes to make the most out of fantasy violence. What we have here is real tragedy. But what was supposed to happen is that on Friday he was going to be in a big event in Houston. He said that he wasn't going to be able to make it. He had to come home because of a family emergency. Then we understand that some of his friends began to get what they say are very curious text messages. And it was after some of that curious text messages that police were asked to come to this house. You can see it's a quite nice house in a neighborhood just south of the Atlanta airport. And that's what they found, the really shocking incident of his wife dead in one room, his 7-year-old son dead in another, and the great wrestling star dead in the third. We were also told by the police here that there were instruments of death found, not instruments of murder. There's going to be an autopsy report, but there's an awful lot of confusion about how this happened.
Is there any idea, when you talk about curious text messages, any sense of what they may be or what he had written in them? I assume it was enough that they felt the need to call the police.
Well, it was when he didn't. It was when he left, and then when others began to get curious messages that they felt the need to call the police. Right. Now, you know, these pay-per-view events are big deals. Yeah. For apparently 2 decades, he's been rock solid, making an awful lot of money. I mean, you know, he's got a big following. And there was an event last night where his fans were just horrified. I mean, they were in tears. They dedicated a 3-hour show. He had a popularity that I didn't realize. So, you know, he had been a hard-working, popular wrestler that suddenly went amiss.
And details, I know, are still coming in. But in the meantime, Mike, thank you very much for this. We appreciate it.
Seamus, sorry I couldn't provide more details. It's such a mystery.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. We're going to go over to Bev now with a grim report on the living conditions in Native communities.